Well, learned another new thing. Having your mute button right below your start and stop the stream button, probably not smart. Let's go ahead and heat that up so I can put some wax on it. Just beeswax. There's lots of different things you see Smiths using. Yep, there went the piece on the ground. But you see Johnson's paste wax, you see obviously the beeswax. I've also seen an amalgam of stuff that includes beeswax, but isn't just beeswax. I think it's beeswax and linseed oil. Linseed oil is also another one that's really good. Be careful. Another one involves beeswax, linseed oil, and turpentine, and that's great. The turpentine allows things to dry faster. It also allows the material to stay in a more, instead of a harder wax, and lets it stay in a softer wax. And that's great for application. But if you're doing anything that has to be food safe, where's my rag? There it is. If you have to if you're doing anything that has to be food safe, then stick with raw linseed oil, also known as flaxseed oil, not boiled linseed oil, because boiled linseed oil has solvents in it like turpentine. And of course, don't use turpentine or anything that's made with turpentine, because those are not good for going on the insides of people. And that's when we're talking about knives. You see that there's lots of things knives are used for, but if that knife is ever going to come into contact with food, like chef's knife, yeah, stay away from those other things. Let's go back to anvil. Let's hope that, yeah, wrong OBS scene. There we go. The stream is not over. That was a mistake. That was me discovering the mute button is too close to the stream start end button. We are going to move the stream start end button out to the main page and just keep scenes in this section. But that will happen after the stream. The many things I do because I learn about things I thought were smart before and turned out to be dumb. And that's the umpteenth time that's dropped, and I forgot to bring anything out to the Smithy to drink. Hey Gideon, how's life treating you? We missed you out here. I have the Stream Deck, that's the problem. The Stream Deck is sitting right here, and I put the button for mute right underneath the button for stream. Not the smartest of choices. Let's go ahead and zoom that in because I can. And that means I need to zoom it into the right place. There we go. It looks leaf-like. I think somebody will be happy with that as a key ring. I'll end up putting a little clip on it to finish that job so people can actually use it as a key ring. Hey! Transcendental Artist Studios. All the way from the Land down under, right? Who was that? I can't. Why in the world did they decide Twitch needs to be in purple so I can't see who Shy Hoot is? Thanks for jumping on here. I don't get a lot of Twitch streamers jumping on, but I do appreciate somebody coming in. Midland, Texas. Well, why aren't you awake by now? Come on. My daughter and my grandkids, well, and her really nice guy of a husband, is down in San Antonio. So yeah, I knew who you were, Sully. Couldn't remember your name. I apologize. I am very bad with names, and one of these days I'll get them memorized. But I'd forgotten where you are. I've got your channel on subscribe and ring that bell, and I just need to see more stuff pop up on there. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that night shift. My eldest son does nights over at I'm just going to pump this a little bit. I've got charcoal on the bottom, so it shouldn't go out. Over at Amazon. So I have done night shifts before. I was working, trying to remember where I was working. I think I was working way back in my early 20s. I was working over at US Robotics on night shifts for a while. And doable, but not easy. And I'm curious to know how many in the stream even know who US Robotics is, might remember who US Robotics was, let's say it that way. Let's pull this back out again. All right. I need to make, let's see. Yep. First rule of blacksmithing is all metal is hot. So I treat it like it's hot with my pot holder here, but small metal cools down pretty quick and easy. But it's cool now. I can throw it in my pocket so I don't forget it out here. Yeah, US Robotics. Let's see. I was on their assembly line for the Sportster 9600. Which I ended up optimizing the test line. They were unnecessarily. It wasn't like there was a change in parameters, but they were unnecessarily testing, doing a test step twice at different times through the process, and I let them know that that was the case, and so we were able to speed up the test line a bit. And from there, they realized, hey, this guy's not just some dummy who can touch things with probes as specified, but actually thinks what he's doing. And ended up putting me in charge of their shipping department. Up there in, I'm probably going to get this wrong. It's been so long, but I think it was Skokie, Illinois, north of Chicago. So yeah. Yeah, 14.4 to 5,600. It was it was the day, right? All the BBS fun we got to have. Now it's just, I mean, back then it was hackers and people just talking about anything, but it was a small community. It wasn't very big yet. Now it's a crazy large community. Good morning, Baka. Oh, yeah. I would do it at night too. There in Texas, heck yeah. It's been crazy hot there. I've been, my daughter's been telling me that, and then we always watch the weather because, we want to know if there's anything we can do to help, which being here in Pacific Northwest, I'm sure there isn't, but it always makes us feel just a little bit better to know that if we needed to, we could fly him here or something like that. But let's see. So sign hanger. I was staring at sign hangers, let's see, Monday, Tuesday of this week, one evening after work. My job is sitting at a computer all day, um, uh, writing programs, building software. Um, so my evenings, I get to to actually do what I want to do. When you're a software developer, you don't really get spare time. Um, Load up some tankers with water and send rain. You know what? Um, I'd love to do that. We haven't seen hardly any rain this summer, which means again I'm going to have an interesting fruit and nut harvest here. I have a suspicion. I'm pretty sure I've got to go take a look today that I don't have any walnuts on my huge walnut tree, and I've had years where I've had more walnuts than the neighborhood can handle. Um, so last year was a dry year too. No walnut. The walnuts were pitiful. We left them mostly to the squirrels. So it's hitting us all. I think it's hitting you guys harder than us, though. We have to worry about 90-degree days. You guys are well above that. And the biggest reason we have to worry about 90-degree days is simply because so few homes here have AC. So, all right. So looking at, like I said, not a lot of time during the day to do anything other than create software. Because you get done with one task, it's time to work on another one. So in the evenings is when I actually get my time to look at things. I started drawing something up on a CAD program I have and realized that's overkill. And instead, what I ended up finding is other folks' work, and I ended up landing on, surprisingly, I guess I shouldn't have been surprised, Roy's um, photos of one that he made. And I think it's going to be the style that I make as well, which, looking at it, it's not a lot more work than I'm used to doing. The biggest challenge will be whether or not I have the material I need to do it yet or not. I have some back here, but I think, nope, I moved all of that under my forge. And under my forge, do I have the material I would need to create scrolls of the size that I want them to be? I do. Okay. The challenge is I've never built one of these, so I'm going to probably goof this up at least 3 times before I get the dimensions right. And the bends right, and stuff like that. But this channel is all about taking the journey without having prior knowledge, so let's do it. Let's just do what I think I'm going to do now is create something to just get some understanding of dimensionality. The challenge, okay, so let me switch views. Let me switch scenes here. The challenge is I have a bar of steel. And that bar of steel needs to become basically an ornamental and structural S-curve, S-hook, except that one side of the S-hook is going to be bigger than the other side. The one side that's bigger goes into the crook of the L that the sign hangs from. So this will curve around and then be some sort of ornamental on the end of it. Probably a fishtail scroll. And then it'll S and come back around, and it'll curl around to the other direction. And again, fishtail scroll on the other end if I want, whatever. Maybe a twist in the middle, because twists are always nice to see. But the problem is, I have no idea how big the curve will need to be, how much material it will take on either side. And and this is why I was thinking CAD. And I don't know where along that material is going to be the bottom of the curve, where I then need to put a set down, or not a set down. I'll show you what I mean, because I can't think of the right words. I need to take my ball peen hammer here. I just need to clean this bench area up. It is unnecessarily messy right now. But whether you have a ball punch, or in my case, I decided, you know what makes a great ball punch? A handled ball punch. My hand isn't going to be in the way. You know what makes a great handled ball punch? A ball peen hammer. So you would take this and put an indent there. And in that indent then is where you would either punch or drill a hole. I don't keep a drill out here typically, so I'll probably punch it. But the point is, that spreads it out, gives you a surface for the head of the screw to sit into, and then you have your hole where the screw goes through. But I don't know where in my circle that needs to be. So I think what I'm going to do is just heat this up, bend 2 loops, and take some measurements to figure that out, and then probably straighten it back out again if I can, which I should be able to, because I'm not going to fishtail the ends yet, as I don't know how big this needs to be, where my loops will be, things like that. So prototyping, and that's what we're going to do this point. Wow, I got a bunch of folks jumping in today. Howdy, everybody. Just wing it and see what happens. Exactly. The other Daniel. Well, it was a good bet to wait until about now to get in here anyway, because who knows if the stream would have been working, and then you wouldn't have wasted your time jumping on a stream that wasn't working. I am learning the tech. About the same speed that I'm learning the blacksmithing. I think I'm blessed for you to be here. So there you go. Yeah, got a loud train going by. That's the end of the train though. Got some engines that are pushing instead of pulling. Nice. And being that I'm working more material than usual, I probably should lengthen my fire, because I can. Haven't done that in a long time. All right, let's start this. keep on heating. Now, if I had a torch, I could probably figure this out faster, but I still haven't taken the time during the week to go talk to the gas folks, the welding folks, to get the propane torch setup I need. Got the tanks for propane. I got 2 propane tanks here for a propane forge that needs to get rebuilt. But I don't have an oxygen tank and I don't have a torch yet. I have an oxyacetylene torch, but again, no oxygen. Naps on the clock. I mean, I work from home, so I technically could do that if I only could nap. Me and naps just don't get along. I end up cranky. I am jealous of my wife in that regard. She can nap every day. All right, I think that's bringing it around enough that if I then put an ornamental, let me put it on the right scene here, brought that around enough that if I put an ornamental bit right here, that would bring the length around a little bit more, and that would be done with that. This is all for estimation anyway. There we go. That feels more like a tangent now. All right. Now to go ahead and switch this around. I'm going to cool it off so I can hold it instead of having to use tongs. Now, I am thinking, let me just do it in your direction so you can see it better. I am thinking that my sign, don't hit the cameras there, Jack. The sign would end up being about like that. Yeah. So this is where I'm going to want the sign to go to. About the length of my anvil face. Let me see. There. About the length of the face to the step, to the end of the step. So this is going to be about where I want the curve to end up. And the height, I want about there. So the curve will actually be lower. Well, let me think about that. Yeah. I think I want the curve to be about, the other side of the curve's top to be about here, because then it'll arc around. We're going to see. We'll see. Let's check to see if that's still hot. It is not. I can grab it. Let's see if I eyeball it well. I'm going to take off the little piece of plastic that's not doing me any good at the moment. Throw that deep into the, all the way to the other side. Put away a little ball punch. Hey, beautiful. I was just saying how I'm jealous of you being able to take naps. As you'll see them here, Transcendental Artist Studios was able to get one in last night. And I can't nap to save my life. I end up sleeping and coming up grumpy. Never poop on your own time. Ah, that's when I did. Now you remind me exactly when I did. Well, thanks for subscribing there. You remind me now when one of the other times I did overnights. And that was when I was working at Lockheed Martin on their help desk, being tech support for them. And yeah, I watched a lot of movies back in that time. I don't think Netflix existed when I was doing that, though. I don't know. Maybe it was Netflix I was watching. I doubt it, though. I think Netflix was just disc at that point. All right, time to put some coal in the back there so it can start cooking up. Grab my Oh, that reminds me. I forgot that I wanted to show something that my chickens found for me. Get your opinions, your vaunted opinions, on whether or not this is coal or not. They found it in my yard. And mind you, if you see my coal, this is what my coal looks like. So I don't think this fell out of a bag. Otherwise, I would have had a trail of peak chunks all over the place. Because this coal came from a friend of mine. You might have seen a live stream he was on. His brother gave it to me. These showed up in my yard, though. Now, is it coal? I don't know. It has a weight, though, that is not like any other rocks I've picked up, which means it's light. And so I think I'm going to put it into the fire and see if I create myself some slag or if I actually end up burning up some coal. That'll be fun to see. I'll just set it up on top there and let's see if it ends up cooking. If it's obsidian, it's the lightest glass I've picked up. It's not impossible, but it's pretty light. And even after washing it, it's got more of a dusty quality on it. Lockheed is an interesting company. I didn't have any problems working there at all, but man, I would never have guessed the diversity of talent and of projects that they work on. Just incredible. All right. This might be time to start using the bending jig. This also could end up being a challenge. Let's get the tool stand out of there. It's not going to be needed. This could be a challenge. We'll see. I don't think it will be. No, it's going to be fine. Forge hood is nice, but I have discovered that it gets in the way sometimes. The folks I bought this forge from, if you watch their videos, they do it a little differently. They actually have a forge hood that sits much higher up. So it's kind of a structure built under their roof. I'm not really quite ready to do that. Well, you know what? That's definitely coal. Look at the smoke coming off of that. Pretty cool. All right, chickens, keep at it. I mean, they've dug up some stuff here. Deer spoor. Yeah, it's definitely not that. The only kind of four-legged animals we have running around here at the moment are dogs, cats, goats, donkeys, and every now and then, coyote. Yep, get them chickens to digging. They dig up a bunch of stuff in here, a lot of glass. That I will say, and that's why, you know, at first I went to pick it up and thought it was just going to be another chunk of glass, but it felt wrong in my hand. And none of the chunks of coal. This is like the biggest chunk of coal that's in my coal bucket. It's much smaller compared to. Let me grab it with tongs now. Oh yeah, that's cooking. It just broke in two. And it's not charcoal, because charcoal doesn't have that glossy color on it. And I don't care to put that in there. And it definitely, yeah, it doesn't smell like charcoal either. It's also heavier than charcoal. But look at that glassiness. So yeah, keep digging up the coal for me there, chickens. Yeah, the last, or one of the previous owners of this property's been around here a long time. The house was built in 1890 and moved to the site and I don't know why they did it that way. That's a bit of history that's lost to me. Moved to the site in like 1910, I think it was. So who knows what's happened on this property in the past. All right. Let's see, just because I can, if this, made it, there we go. Too much there. All right. Again, this seems like it's more of a task for a torch, but you work with the tools you have. All right. So yeah, the gent who ended up buying the property and rehabbing it said he pulled out cars, a boat, and I constantly am picking up glass and garbage that the chickens unearth. You want an animal that will do all of the surface mining of a property for you? Get chickens. They will definitely do it. All right. Yeah, I would imagine hops was definitely here at one point, since Kent Valley was well known. Oh yeah, it's my wife. Thank you. Scrolling back. $1,200 miles. I hope you took breaks at the appropriate rest areas. Time to turn the fire a little bit. I'm not getting the airflow I want. There we go. And I think I will grab my hot hand and adjust the tweer on this thing so I get a longer fire. Go through coal a little bit faster. Let's go to, I think 4 will definitely give me all the heat I need. Let's get things a-cooking. This thing's got a dial-a-tweer that goes all the way up to 10. But if I don't start heating the length of this bar, I'm not going to be able to get the bend with this hood on. Oh, northern route. It wasn't my fault. I wasn't, unless you want to say that it was because I wasn't convincing enough. But my driving partner decided he did not want to drive through Texas. We were coming from Florida all the way back up here, and all my wife kept saying is, take the southern route, take the southern route. And he was like, no, that adds too much time, and I don't want to drive through Texas. So instead, we went up the northern route through Nebraska and Wyoming, and Wyoming, we got stuck. Oh, got the metal too hot. Shame, shame, shame. All right. Not so much forging as I am just simple bending. Because I have to get my face way too close to this metal for my comfort. And that's not nearly as round as I want it. And that's bent too much. That's better. All right, how are we going to do this? This is getting to be a challenge. It's coming around though. This is where I definitely need to go find myself a pipe of the dimensionality I want and make a jig. Getting smooth bend instead of this thing. Now, how the hell would Laramie, Wyoming be part of Texas? Yeah, we were in, we had made it through Laramie. So here's the problem. The folks in Laramie are liars. The folks where we got stuck, damn it, what's the name of the town we got stuck in? Are nice as can be. But the folks in Laramie are liars. Because they basically said that, you know, we have this great thing going on here where we will literally shut down I-80 with, you know, crossing barriers. They'll actually, like when you come up on a railroad track, well, they got great big ones that'll go clear across, the traffic of the lanes on I-80. And those buggers didn't bother to put those things down. Yeah, they said it could be tricky around, what the hell was that mountain? Snow Mountain? No, Elk Mountain. Elk Mountain. I'm pretty sure it was Elk Mountain. Said it could be tricky around there. Well, we get to going along, and the road's clear. And up a ways, we've got semis that are passing me as I'm towing with my dad's 88 GMC truck, and next thing we know, there's a semi that's slowed down a bit in the distance because you could see for miles in there, and it's slowed down because it doesn't want to pass a snowplow. Yeah, I've goofed this up at this point because I can't get it into the heat. Let's see what I can do this way. Nope. How about this way? This might do it. Yeah. And the snowplow is putting out sand or salt or whatever. And so we're like, hey, great. They're going to make sure it stays clear. And they get up about halfway up a hill, and they pull off to the center and cross over and start heading back. And the next thing I see after that is just snow. And then we get going along there, and I'm like, well, this is going to suck, but we can do this. Mind you, the truck had no heat because it's a Florida truck. He said, why put heat in it? I want power. My father-in-law's truck. And has all-weather tires on it, which basically means it's good for rain, not snow. But at this point, I'm committed, right? What am I going to do? And we then heard well, let's see. We get going along, and the next thing I know, I'm starting to feel things gusting. And the snow is getting deeper. Nobody bothered to come in and clear this road. And now the gusts are getting to be really bad, and it's whiteout conditions. I can't see where I'm going. If it weren't for the reflectors on the side of the road, we would not know where we were. And yeah, that was not fun times. The worst, though, yeah, that didn't work. The worst was when a gust caught us and turned us right around, trailer and all. Thank God the tires didn't catch on the trailer. Possibly because there wasn't anything to catch on except more ice. Because we did a 180 right there on I-80. And that was scurry. Well, this could be a challenge. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, he's vociferous. He's going to be Thanksgiving dinner. Decent bird to humans, but he doesn't like my other birds. Or he likes some of the hens too much. He was not meant to be with them, and he does not get that. Well, you've heard of courtesy bends? This bend is very discourteous. All right, let's see what I can do to make it possible to get this in there. I may be out of luck. I may be having the exact same problem I was having with my mother's shepherd's hook. I don't know how to do this in this forge. At least with the hood on. Next week I might have the hood off. All right, I have an idea. We're going to work it and see what happens. And that is to put a bend in here. That might allow things to lay a different way in this forge. We'll see. Yeah, discourtesy bend, definitely. Hello, friend. You guys are having a great conversation with my wife today. I'm so happy she's on here, being able to fill in the time when I can't be looking, answering the, adding some color commentary. There we go. Now we got some airflow. Burn up some metal with that kind of airflow. All right. Let's turn this. Now, I don't know that that piece was actually getting in my way, but it isn't going to get in the way now. Ah, yes, there we go. It was getting in my way before. Now let's see if I can put that to my benefit. Let's keep on bringing it around. Come on. Still don't know that it's actually going to help, but we'll see. A little too early for rum and coke for me. Now my wife, on the other hand, she's the rummy of the house. So breakfast of champions right there. Or dinner, you know, whatever. Things are maybe getting hot in the smithy, but I don't know if they're getting hot in the right places. Let's see. Oh yeah, I can hear it now. It's going to get nice and hot right where I need it. Is it beer in the Cheerios or just beer with Cheerios? We've looked at a specific kind of pheasant, not that we intend to eat them, but just having some peacock and peahen on the property for, you know, color, literally. Yes. Oh, shit. Things got a little too hot there. Good thing I'm not actually wanting to keep this piece for anything. This is all just figured out. It actually is where I need it to be. So that worked. Quench off where I don't want it to move. Man, big scrolls are hard. Little scrolls are easy. Well, comparatively speaking. Definitely need a scrolling jig to make this a whole lot easier. And also close that up way too much. All right, let's keep on getting it hot. And now I can get the areas I want hot. No, go have fun shooting. Thanks for stopping in, though. Bow out, brother. Be well. Nice. Visual puns. What is that word type called? It's not a homonym because it doesn't sound the same. It just looks the same. I shot a bow that just this past spring. Wasn't mine. And I also shot a compound for the first time this past spring. Also not mine. That one was harder than I expected it to be. Mainly because it was just a much stronger pull than I expected. Or draw. Okay. It's coming along. It's looking good, and I don't know why I'm still over there at the vise when the anvil is where the work's happening. It's coming along. It's actually nearly where I want it. This part's, of course, not where I need it, but that's okay because, as I said, I'm doing this so I can get an understanding of how much material and where things need to get punched when I put it into an L. So the L is the next part I'll do here. And I've got some material here I can figure that out with too. So, but did it actually meet my specifications? I do want to get that around better though, just a little bit. Maybe even open it up just a hair. It's amazing how fast Coke cools off when not presented to in the presence of heat and air. Oh, well, I have mental specs. In other words, it needs to be about this size. It needs to be about this width. I mean length. But you're right. I didn't have actual specs. This is something I'm doing as a favor. So they didn't have any specs. I'm sure if I present it to them and they tell me it's too big or too small, I can make it again for them. And then this one becomes something that I use elsewhere. Well, when I say this one, I mean the one I'm thinking about, because it's not going to be this. Break up all that sticky Coke. It's the only kind of Coke I'm interested in. I don't even like cola. See you in about 20, dear. Absolutely mental. All right. Let's see. That's more like it. I don't feel bad considering that's freehand. And again, I think that would be enough at that point to flare and do something ornamental at the end. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and set that aside for a second and start picturing some things. First, we're going to quench it so I can actually hold it. Nice thing about working with cold rolled, I don't have to worry about causing too much harm to the metal when I'm doing that. Okay. Am I thinking about this backwards? Yes, I was thinking about it backwards. Oops. There we go. That's the way it needs to go. Now, is that sufficient for what I would want to do? Well, the fact is, there's some folks out there who do pretty things. I think Trail Dust is one I've seen do it, where they'll do loops or loops and loops again in here. With that in mind, that could also add something, but I don't know that that's necessary for this simple sign hanger. It would be just something like that. And then, am I going to actually repurpose my rake at the moment? Do I want to do that? Or should I just take another piece of the same bar at the moment, just because I need to go buy material, obviously, to pull this off. and then do the bending, just see what's what. Let's do that. These will just be like my yardsticks, or it's incredible because I watch some primitive technology folks on the web that have done blacksmithing. I'll use this, and to watch them is fun because they do exactly what I'm doing here. They wing it. They don't have specific dimensions. They have an idea in their head, and then they work out the dimensions as they go, and they do like I'm about to do now, which is to create something that can work as a yardstick going forward. Story sticks. Okay, yeah, there you go. Hey, nobody said I've done any of this stuff professionally. I've never been much of a maker. Welcome back, Aaron. Yeah, almost like a treble clef, doesn't it? Knock around my fire cam. Just so people know that it's actually real. Yep, you all got it. So, I'm a man of stories, if you haven't figured that out yet. In a past life, I sang for the Orlando Opera. That was a lot of fun. Got to hang out with a bunch of cool people. Really didn't have the confidence for it at first. I'd just been doing some musical theater, and that was by accident too. Next thing you know, somebody kept saying I should audition for the Orlando Opera, and surprisingly, they actually took me in. All right, am I getting this in the right place? No, not yet. That's way too in the wrong place. So we need to come all the way out here. Let me do this, as I've seen them do, and create something that'll help me remember that. Got a nice sharp edge on my anvil, so I can get away with doing that. Thank you, Alec, for making such a great anvil. Pricey, but a really good anvil. Yes, that will definitely get cut off. I'm not cutting it off right now because that's not the final piece. That's just my, as he said, my story, what did you call it? My storyboard, my story stick. and to hear the coyotes howl. Yep, story stick. So yeah, that's just my story stick. So I'll end up probably straightening it back out and to get it where I needed it to. Well, I got it way up too high, but let's quench that off. And it's good where it is. There's my mark. We're just going to go ahead and bend around it. And then take a look. Done properly, this will be done with flat stock. But I don't have it right now to do it with, so we're just getting some basic measurements. Real basic. All right, let's take a look. How would I do this? Lots of sizzling, because all metal's hot, and that metal is definitely hot. All right. I think that would give me all the... Let me put it here so other folks can weigh in. But I think that would give me all of the dimensionality I would need to create a mounting face. Obviously, that's not bent in as much as it's supposed to be. But we'll go ahead and set it there anyway, just so we can look at it. It's up enough that it's just a little bit past the top of the crook. I don't know if it should be or not. I'm going to go back and look at some other folks that have done it. And then it's long enough for that to be a place that a sign could be hung from. So I feel pretty good about that. And then I would end up putting a rivet here and a rivet here and a rivet here. So obviously that needs to be brought in. Drink. For those playing the game at home. There we go, that's more like square. Still not square, let's fix that. Doesn't have to be perfectly, but I've got various pieces of the anvil that'll help me do that, right? Might as well use them. All right, that's closer. Now let's look at this again. It would go this way. This would go this way, I think. Yep. All right, I think I have what I need to take measurements and build to the preforms specs. What say y'all? Yeah, drop forged. Well, see, I've watched videos, but I didn't see any videos out there for making a sign hanger. I've got to go look again. And the thing is, when I watch the videos, it gets into my head about how to think about the problem, but I'm not a memorization kind of person. I don't have that ability. ADHD's got its challenges. So, yeah, I'm going to work it out. And I think that's got it. That's, I think, what I needed to know to go get the right material and put things in the right places. I'll take some measurements offline. We'll go ahead and put this away for now. Cool it off. You can tell it's been warm. My quench barrel is down a foot to a foot and a half at this point. time to refill it and make sure that the donkey and goat have some water too. There we go. That, I think, will do the trick. Let me just make sure I can show it to you guys in the best way, which I believe is just to pull this up a little bit. Yep. There we go. As a matter of fact, I should be able to then... Where do I need to go to make it pivot? Learning my tools, learning my tools. That one there. There we go. Nope, wrong way. Goat and Donkey Forge. You know, I haven't given the forge a proper name. My buddy did make this beautiful sign for me. I'll pull it forward so you guys can see it. And of course, being that it's in a smithy, it's all dirty and covered in coal dust. There we go. But I haven't actually thought of a name for the smithy. Mainly because I'm not a pro at this anyway, it's for fun for me. So I don't need to be able to tell people what its name is. But I do have a touch mark, which is the, well, you'll see it on the face. It's the curly mustache. So, for obvious reasons. Now the business name is Between Two Pines. And that's because we got myself and my wife, who's the smarter of the two of us. And between the two of us, I'm sure if we have a harebrained idea to fulfill with a business, we will do it. So Between Two Pines LLC, that's us. And but yeah, a smithy name would be Goat and Donkey Forge. I don't know, I got a lot more chickens than goat and donkey, but yeah, I've got something like 30 chickens, and I think we're about to get 20 chicks. Some Easter eggers, and then just some fancy breeds. Tractor Supply was having a sale. So we'll see how that goes. Yes, well, and that's the thing. His name is Major Tom. Major being his name until we decided that his name is actually Dinner. So, Funny Farm Forge. Now that I like. That might actually work. I'm going to let the fire die down. That's going to be the end of me smithing this weekend, I think. I don't think I'm going to have an opportunity to get back out here again tomorrow. But never know. I don't typically do live streams on Sunday, though. Instead, I enjoy the live streams that exist. I get to watch the podcast that Transcendental Artist Studios and Island Metal Forge. You can go over to Island Metal Forge and watch them creating the podcast. Actually, is it? Yeah. And there's one other. Damn it! I know the. I can see his pirate's flag. I'm trying to remember what his channel's name is called, though. But anyway, that's where I'm going to be found tomorrow morning. And then if I'm real lucky and I got all my honeydews done early enough, I'll end up being back on Island Metal Forge to see whoever's going to be on there. Sometimes it's Transcendental Forge, Transcendental Artist Studio getting on there to do something. Sometimes it's Yamez getting on there to do something. So that's typically my Sundays. Honeydews, errands, and enjoying the company of all these folks who have jumped into my Speargrass. That's it, Speargrass. I always forget that's the name because I always think of Adam and his pirate's flag, but I never think of the name of the smithy itself. Yeah, it's Sundays are honeydew days for me, and enjoying the live streams that Yamez and company put on. So definitely, I think everybody that's been coming into this channel, except for a few folks who know me from other walks of life. Um, Already know about those, but definitely go check them out. If you enjoy what you're seeing here, definitely go check them out because they're the ones that actually know what they're doing, and they're the ones I keep learning the craft from. I'm just here because I wanted to give a beginner's point of view, um, and you know, enjoy doing it in front of some folks. Um, Learn how hard it is to actually get out here and do a live stream, and then learn from that process. Because my joy is in learning and telling stories, and there's so many stories to listen to too. Always love listening to all the stories that are available in the world. It's like there's some folks who can't wait to be done living, and for me, I can't I can't imagine being done living. There's just always something new and fun to learn, and then to share what I've learned. So I appreciate that you guys have enjoyed the stream. Um, and Sully, thanks for for reminding me some things. And I'll see you guys for sure tomorrow. And you know, as I always sign off, love and light.